What's up, YouTube? What up, though? This is your host, Dev the Smoke. I'm here to talk my shit today. It's been a minute, but I'm back at it, and we're gonna go over and do some day trading, possibly if we got any opportunities. If not, this is gonna be an educational video. So stick around. Here's the next episode. We'll be right back. All right. So right now, what we got? Check it out. I'm on the spot. I'm on the 5 minute time frame right now because on the daily, you see what we got. We had hit all time highs, of course. We got all the way to 760, but since then, it's been bearish far as the day and far as the week go. So we got as high as 760 on the week, and now we've been pretty much selling off. Today, as of today, here we are. So this was when where the sell off started, and this is yesterday, and here we are today. And so this is what I see. Now I see this candle. It already had got as low as 751. That could have been during pre-market, but what I do see, no, it wasn't during pre-market. This was since the market is open. So what I do see is that this trend, as far as what we see, as far as the trend goes, it could continue to sell off. It could continue to sell off and get as low as 748. This was where we had a level of buying. A lot of bulls came in at this level. Bulls also came in at the 749.85 level. So we looking at those key levels as levels where I would want to actually come in and trade at. But in the meantime, in between time, if I'm gonna do any day trading, basically what I do is I spot out the high and the low for the day. So if I was just to move this here, change the color of this to red, that signifies my high and my low for the day. 753.70, 751.40. That's pretty much my ranges for the day. 751.40 to 753.70. Currently, we are already at 73.67, 70, about to break 753.69. So this might be an area of going in and running my play. And as you can see, I already had an alert set for this earlier. I was looking for this to break past the 200. This is what I was looking for. It did break past the 200. Now, if it breaks past that 753.69 level, I feel comfortable in taking a 0 DTE trade and riding it. And it could ride it all the way to 755.50 level. But until then, I won't enter a trade. Now, we were close, and but if close doesn't count it for me, I have to actually break past that level. So once we break past 753.70, I'm in. We'll be right back when that happens. I figured while I wait, I might as well talk my boxing shit too. So lately in the news, what we are seeing is Zuffa signing Shakur Stevenson, as well as we already knew that they had signed Devin Haney. They have Connor Ben, they have Richardson Hitchens, and I think it's more to come. And here's my take. Not to say that my take is right, not to say that I just know and I'm just in the know of everything with this, because I'm not. But here's my take on what I think is happening. Now, We know that Zuffa has the money coming from Turkey Al Sheikh, and they also currently have political backing. We know this. He's Dana is in cahoots with Donald Trump, of course. So we know that the political backing is there. I don't know if the reform for the Ali Act has officially passed. I don't think it has, but I do think this is coming and it is gonna pass. And I think it's some good and it's some bad in it. Here's where I think the good comes in. Just this past fight, we saw Shaki Foster, Raymond Ford. One of the judges had this fight scored 114-114. This is the type of stuff that is killing boxing to start off right away, the judging. So, I mean, when you get a league that's regulated, that's got regulations, those types of things aren't going to happen as much. And what I think is going to happen is that it's going to be, it's going to turn into like a real league, like a real, right now it's not. Right now it's just a promotion. They're building it to be that, but they have the backing and the money to make it happen. Whereas other promotions in the past who wanted to do that just didn't have enough behind them to do it. They had the money to get the fighters, but they just didn't have enough. They didn't want to do it. They didn't want to change enough, I don't think either. I think once the money started coming in from the actual promotional side of it, they didn't want to change things up. And these promoters are the reason why this change is happening. The promoters, the greed of the promoters not wanting to make these fights, they want to build a fighter and want to still have us pay for bullshit and have us pay for these crap fights, but they call themselves I'm building my fighter. And they don't want this fighter is built and they don't want them to fight and lose their O or take a loss and then they lose they cash cow. So you got fighters who've milked the system, and then you got these younger new fighters who thought they were going to be able to come in and do the same thing, and now they putting a kibosh to it. You're not going to be able to milk the system with shit fights and still think that you're going to be able to charge people $100 for pay-per-views and charge 3, 4, 500 for seats at your fight. You're not going to be able to do that with crap fighters because your promotional company is letting you get away with that. That's going to stop. That's where I think Zuffa, with the power and the money and the fighters that they're signing, they're going to be able to pull that off where we're going to see the fights we want to see. Because here's what's happening. The biggest fighters are going over there. If you got Shakur and you got Devin Haney, they done cut it to 8 weight class. So you don't got all these junior this, junior that. It's all lightweight, welterweight, middleweight, light heavyweight, cruiserweight, straight out. So you got 140. These guys is 140. They fighting with the 147 dudes. More than likely, that's what's going to happen. They're going to all be merged in one division where they can all fight each other. And, I mean, I think that that's awesome for the fans like me. I'm a fan. So, I think that's awesome that that's happening. If it happens that way. I think with the money that's coming around, that's being spent with Devin Haney, being spent with Shakur Stevenson, yeah, it could definitely wear out, but not as fast as it happened with other companies who tried to do it. And just like the NFL, just like the NBA, you got top signings and top free agents and top people who garner that kind of money, and then you got others underneath that have a lesser contract. And so I expect that to happen. I expect others underneath to not get the $100 million contracts. You know, Connor Ben has a following over in the UK. His thing was only for, he's not signed there indefinitely. He was on one fight, 15 million. He's not gonna. They tested the waters with him with Regis' program, but I don't expect him to get 15 million a fight because he got in that fight. I expect him to get a contract for a certain amount of fights where he gets a certain amount per fight, and it probably won't be a $100 million contract for 3 fights. I doubt it. I doubt it. So I think that they're gonna play it just like the NBA, the NFL, all the regulated leagues. People get their contracts. You got max salaries. No more, independent spot. That stuff I don't like. The independent sponsorships, can't come out to your own ring music. You don't got no kind of real personality. That kills real boxing for me. What we used to is boxing. But as far as fixing boxing, the problems of boxing, I'm not mad about it. Because I'm tired of seeing 114, 114 on a fight we know wasn't 114, 114. We know that fight wasn't a draw. You got to be kidding me. We know it wasn't. So why are you trying to play the public? Come on. And this happens too much. It happens too often. And so, from that point of view, I think if they can do things like regulate. Okay, we got to break my alert. All right, we getting ready to jump on back into the trading. Let's go. We on the 5 minute. All right. So we feel the order, and we did one for June 4th expiration. Should have been a June 5th expiration. June 5th expiration. 7:51 call. At 4:21. Let me look at the order. Yep. June 5th expiration. 7:51 call. Limit price was 428. Let me look on my phone. See, when you look on your phone, you get to see your average price, which is actually the more important price. So I look on my phone and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So first things first, I go to my orders, right? Go to orders. See, that's the top order right there. You tap that. You can see where it say average price. The average price is 424. So let's set a stop loss. $4.24 time. I'm going to set a 45% stop loss. So that would be 55 times 0.55. 2.33.2. I go to my positions where I'm up. Stop order. 2.33. Up $87 so far. Alright. Alright, we're gonna hold this trade and then I'll be back in a little bit. We back boxing and bullish. We watching the trade, and while I'm watching the trade, I might as well talk my shit. You know what I mean? And so yeah, once again, what I think is gonna happen, Zuffa is gonna come in. More fighters are going to go for the money and go for the opportunity to fight for the best. Because if it's Shakur, just like Zab Judah said, you mean tell me if Devin Haney and Shakur get in that ring, I don't care if it's for Zuffa or whoever, we not gonna watch it? Yeah, we're gonna watch it. We're gonna watch it, and whoever wins, we're gonna say they're the best. They're the best welterweight. They're the best lightweight. Whatever weight class they decide they want to be at for this Zuffa thing. If they fight each other, whoever wins is the best for right now. Tank is in the mix too. Hopefully Tank do something like that too. I know he, super loyal to PBC and what they doing and things like that, but get that money, man. You know what I'm saying? Get your career up because you supposed to be the best. You supposed to be in the mix. It's no reason why you not in the mix. And we want to see you in the mix. So, yeah, get in the mix. You know what I mean? Sign with Zuffa. Beat these boys up. Get in there. You know what I mean? You got Richardson Hitchens, and you got others that's going to come. They're going to come because the money is there and the fights are going to be there. Sooner or later. It's not going to happen overnight. Nothing happened overnight. PBC didn't happen overnight. Even though the money was right there overnight quickly and you start seeing a lot of people get signed, it didn't happen overnight. And so I'm expecting the same thing. I'm expecting Zuffa to be the same way, where you're going to get a lot of the young guys and the big fights are going to happen over there. Right now, the zone is tied in with all of the promotional companies. Turkey has all of the promotional companies all wrapped in on the zone. So, what do you think gonna happen? You know what I'm saying? He already pretty much have them all under, except for PBC. He got them all under one umbrella already, just fighting under that network. We're able to make those fights. So even just under that network, fighting under the zone, Turkey Al, even if it's not a Ring Magazine fight, you're going to get Zuffa in the mix, and you're going to get a lot of these fights to happen. And we're going to like the fact of the regulations and things. I think that's what's coming. I think the regulations and things like that are going to be coming, where you're going to see less bad judging, bad scoring, and more, less corruption. Less corruption, because we've seen some corruption in the sport, like terrible stoppages and stuff like that. Like the Rolly Romero, Ishmael, what's his name? Ishmael Barrero, my man, old dude was whooping Rolly ass. They jump in, stop the fight. And it was all really, to make another fight that never even really happened because they wanted to push Ryan Garcia up there. That's all that was for. We all know it. We all watched that and watched the whole shit play out after that. And it was so obvious. as to what was happening, it was just like, what? I mean, the corruption is huge. You know what I mean? Uh, it's all built on media attention and oh, he's funny. He makes us laugh. Let's put him in the spotlight. Like, come on, man. That's what killed boxing. That bullshit. That we want to get media attention. We want to get promotional hype behind this guy because he's entertaining. He's funny. He's entertaining. But he can't fight worth shit. And then when he stopped being funny and just started looking stupid, then you shelved him. Now you don't want to fight at all because he wasn't that good. You put him up on a pedestal because he's entertaining. He's funny. He makes funny jokes. We all want to laugh. You know what I mean? Just stupid shit. Like, one thing about the UFC, I don't care for the fact of how we know that they fighters have been treated. I know for a fact that that's the truth. I know for a fact that that's the truth. With some of they fighters that's on the lower end, those guys got to pay for their whole hookup, training, travel. They go without, can't pay their bills. That fight is the fight they got to win to survive, and then they got to wait to get another fight. And in the meantime, they doing whatever jobs they can do, and they training and paying for it the whole time. And it's not easy. They don't get paid worth nothing. That's the truth. They don't really get paid worth jack as a UFC fan. And a lot of professional boxers, I know for a fact as well, on the lower end, don't get paid worth jack either. But UFC, that's it's a lot of different MMA promotional companies. UFC is the top of the top. That's the best. So when you go through the bottoms and get through the bottoms and work your way all the way up to the top and get that UFC contract, you thinking you made it, and then when you make it there, you are broke as hell. And you still not getting paid until you get to these huge multi-million-dollar level fights, and it's only a couple guys that's really getting that. So the money is definitely different with the UFC, and we know the fighters, how they've been treated and how they've went to Dana and sued Dana and things like that. So we know how that goes. One thing is this though. They do make sure that they fighters stay busy. They got a UFC doggone UFC pay-per-view every 2 weeks, it seemed like. I mean, those guys stay busy. They stay fighting. And with boxing, of course, you're going to have to, the pay scale going to be different. But one thing we can say for sure is this. We are going to see fights. We are going to see the fights we want because they're going to keep these guys matching up. They're going to keep them matching up, so we're going to see the fights we want. That's for sure. And that's the one thing that I do like about the situation that I see happening. Right now, it's not happening just yet because it's like, yeah, they getting money, but how long is that going to last? The same thing Oscar said, like, oh, yeah, they tried that with Liv, and they did, and it failed. It failed. So he got a point. But at the same time, boxing might be a little bit different than golf. Golf got their own fans, their own set of fans, and those guys are old school. Those guys, they used to the PGA tournaments. They not used to that live stuff and different changes in the golf and how the way they doing and all that other changes and rules. Those guys are most golf fans that are real golf fans, golfers. They're old school. They're not all hip. They're not into the hip stuff and all of the changes. So they don't have the same fan base as boxing. Boxing, we've been yearning for these fights that y'all didn't want to make happen. We was yearning for Canelo, not just for David Benavidez. We wanted him to fight Charlo. We wanted him to fight Andre. When Andre was calling him out before he lost to Benavidez and lost his luster because he lost to Benavidez. That's what you was waiting for. Y'all was waiting for that. Y'all waited him out for him to take a loss, so now he not as relevant. And we waited for these fights, and you didn't want to make them happen all through his whole career. Floyd is even though he had a whole career of making the fights, the problem with him came from greedy ass promoter Bob Arum not wanting him to fight his cash cow and beat his cash cow. So when Floyd broke away from him, what was his attitude? Now I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to rape the public. I'm going to fight who I want to fight because I wanted to fight these guys and y'all was jerking me and wouldn't let me fight them and was getting my money and keeping me from the big money. So once he started getting the big money, guess what? Now he didn't care about making the fights anymore. He didn't make the fights unless they was money fights, big money fights. So, and it ended up making it where Showtime didn't want to do business with boxing at all because it took such a huge loss in dealing with that. And they didn't have to deal with it just from him. They had to deal with it from Canelo and the other fighters that came after him because everybody wanted to do that Mayweather blueprint, which destroyed boxing. Now you got somebody who's willing, who has the money to restore it. And he wants the fights to happen. And he don't want to wait 5 years for them to happen. He wants them to happen now. And so when you got that kind of push, as a fan, we looking for that. We've been yearning for that. We've been wanting to see the best fight the best. We've been wanting to see the best heavyweight champions in the world fight. We've been wanting to see the best welterweight champions fight. Because they haven't been fighting. They haven't been making the fights. And it ain't necessarily been the fighters' faults. It's more so the promoters' faults than the fighters' faults because the promoters don't want them to get in there and take a risk and take a loss because it affects their marketability. But that's why you got fights like right now that's about to happen with Boots Ennis and Xander Zayas. And that's a huge fight. That's somebody who took a risk. Because Boots is a monster. Xander is taking a legit risk in fighting Boots Ennis. But the fight is happening nevertheless. Nevertheless, the fight is happening. So now you're going to start see when another player come in the game, it also puts pressure. It's just like back in the day when Madden dominated, then they came out with that other football game that you couldn't get all of the exact teams where you couldn't use the exact names, but it was sweet. It was competition. It was competition. It was 2K. It was that 2K football game. When that came out, Madden had to make adjustments. They couldn't bring out the same product over and they do now because there's no competition. There's no other licensed football. There's no other games that got an NFL licensing. So that's when they know that, and so they can keep giving you a shit product year after year after year after year because there's no other games. Once 2K realized without an NFL licensing, they couldn't totally compete with Madden because Madden was the biggest football game in the world, and for video games, the biggest football video game in the world, and it was very hard to compete with Madden without NFL licensing. But they were legit competition because people wanted things different. We wanted a different game. We was tired of seeing the same thing, same thing, same thing. Tired of the same gameplay. This is how it is right now with boxing. We're not going to jump too far off subject. This is what it is now with boxing. We tired of the same shit product. So now we so happy for Turkey Al-Sheikh. Look at the fights we getting. Look at the fights we getting. Look at the settings we're getting the fights in. Egypt and Times Square. He shut down Times Square. Like, who does that? Who's done that? So, I mean, that's what we're talking about here. We're talking about a visionary guy who wants huge things for boxing. You got the top MMA promoter in the world that want to get into boxing for whatever reason, tied in with a man who's a visionary dude for the sport, who loves the sport because he wants to see these dream fights happen. And they team together. What do you think is going to happen? What's going to happen is a league of real fighters who think that they want to be the best. Legacy style fighters. That's what you're going to have. You're going to have a league of legacy minded fighters who are thinking about fighting and being the best and looking at being the best. Right now is Zuffa Promotions. But if that promotion is putting on events where the best is fighting the best, and that's for that belt, guess which belt is going to matter? The Zuffa belt. If I got the WBC and WBA and you got the IBF and WBO, we both welterweights. I got the WBA, WBC. You got the WBO and IBF. Unified champions. We fight on the Zuffa card for the undisputed Zuffa lightweight championship. Whoever wins is the best. They're the best. They're the Zuffa lightweight champion, and they're also going to be recognized as the best lightweight in the world. That's where I think they're going. I think that is the relevance behind it all. I think that's what Zuffa is trying to achieve, is to bring the best of the best to their promotion / league. Because down the road, I believe with all of the things they're trying to do, the regulatory things, that's where I think, and that's one thing with the UFC too, that you don't see a lot of, that you see a lot more in boxing. Once again, you don't see a lot of bad judging. You don't see a lot of complaining over if they go to decision, you don't see a lot of complaining over who won. It's pretty much like, yeah, he won. Like, it's got to be super close. Super close for somebody to say, oh, it was a robbery. With boxing, it's like happens, like blatantly happens. Not just like, oh, sometimes. No, no, the scores be all the way messed up. So that alone should tell you that it needs change. Now, we talked about that. I'm still holding this trade up $99. Really, the goal is 150. So, I'm up $99. I really could exit and be cool. I don't necessarily. I like to hold though. If I can hold it, like this still is still it's going into 11 o'clock. So I am gonna hold this not too much longer and just get out with what I got because it's gonna be one of them days actually. But I think that I could hold this as long as me getting it all the way back up to like 755, somewhere like that, 756. That'd be great if I held it to 756. But we gonna hold it. We at 754.10 right now, so we got a long way to go if I plan on trying to hold it that long. I probably won't. This was a day trade. I'm getting out of this today. So this is not one I'm gonna hold overnight or anything. I'm getting out of this one today. Um, but I want to get as much as I can out of it in the meantime. So, in the meantime, between time, continue to talk my shit. Continue to talk my shit. So, what I want to talk about next is O'Shaquie Foster, Shakur Stevenson. We saw the face off in the ring. Shakur looked like, man, I don't want to fight him. This ain't really worth my time and money. It ain't worth me doing. Shakur didn't look like he looked like, and he way bigger than O'Shaquie Foster to me. Like, even though O'Shaquie Foster is a strong dude, you could tell he got that wiry, strong strength, and he definitely is a gym rat. Definitely is a gym rat. He stay in the gym. So it's not like O'Shaquie can't do 140. He can go up to 140, but immediately I saw the height difference too. Like, it's not just the weight difference, it's the height difference. Shakur is clearly the bigger dude, and just like a lot of other people who analyze boxing, I analyzed the same thing. I saw the same thing. It's the same thing that Floyd did for a lot. I mean, Floyd was good, period. Bigger, smaller. You could be bigger than Floyd, he still whoop your ass. You smaller than Floyd, though, he gonna really whoop your ass. That's how Floyd was. If you was smaller than him, if he had the reach over you or the height over you, oh yeah, he was gonna wear you out, have some fun. And I think Shakur is the same way when it comes to that. If he has the height, with the fact of how so defensively sound he is, the fact that you cannot hit this guy even if right in front of him, bigger guy, throw 100 punches, still can't hit him. Um, he's so defensively sound. That's number one. It's already hard enough to hit him. Number one. Yep. And then number two. By the way, we're about to go ahead and change our stop loss to. We're going to modify the stop loss right now, and give me one moment while I do that. I always do that from my phone, so I just have to go to my positions. If I can just get to it. Okay, so I'm at 180. So now, this is my stop order. And you can see at the bottom where it says modify. So modify it. You hit modify, it goes to this. And now you can see the value of the option, the contract, the value of it. You can see it. Wait a minute. What? Oh, you can see it right there. Right there. You can see the value of it. Right now it's at 485. I'm gonna change my stop loss. It's at 495. I'm about to change my stop price to 490. So it go down to 490. Oh, it must have already did. Oh, it must have went to 484 already. So what? Where we at with it? Oh snap! It done went down to 479. So it's my stuff must be late. Yep. I ain't tripping. I'm still putting it in for 475. Hopefully it feel like it's supposed to. This been something ain't been right over here. The Wi-Fi something slow. Okay, there we go. Okay, so yeah, we adjust the stop loss still. It's at my stop loss at 475. The value still going up. I mean, my what you call it? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm at 213. See the value different. I mean, it's something that's like lagging. So I'm gonna keep modifying this. The value 493. I'm about to take this to 490. We making sure we get that. Yep. So 490. All right, it closed me out. Cool. I'm done for the day. What was the profit? 219. Good day. Good day. So that's that. Uh, brings my net value finally broke over the 3,000. Wow, what a milestone. We did it. We on our way to 10. That was the goal of the journey. We have finally broke out of 2,000. We are at 3189 and we are going to keep it pushing. We got 7,000 more to make before we hit the journey goal of 10,000. Wow. So this is great. Let me go ahead and talk some more shit with the boxing and keep it right there. So we got O'Shaquie and Shakur. Shakur, in my opinion, is going to whoop O'Shaquie Foster's ass. That's just my opinion. Shakur is going to whoop O'Shaquie Foster, and it won't be close after 4 rounds. After 4 rounds, that fight won't be close. Shakur will have him figured out, and from that point, for the rest of that fight, Shakur will handle O'Shaquie Foster because of the size, because of the IQ, because of the countering, the counter punching, and because of O'Shaquie Foster's style is he's going to have to come at him. Even though O'Shaquie Foster's a good counter puncher, great counter puncher, I've seen him have to stand in front of the dude and fight too. And he's gonna have to do that with Shakur because Shakur too good of a counterpuncher and too good defensively to try to pop shot him and tic tac. It's not gonna work that way. It's not gonna. You're gonna have to be offensive with Shakur because he's automatically too defensive. So Shaq will have a hard time with Shakur Stevenson. I think Shakur will dominate O'Shaquie Foster in a 12 round fight. I think it won't be close after 4 rounds. I don't think O'Shaquie Foster has the physical attributes to hang with Shakur that long. I just don't think so. After I seen him size up in the ring, I saw how big Shakur was. I see the skill set. Shaqie Foster got excellent skill set. He cold. I picked him to beat Ray Ford. I picked him to beat Ray Ford. I didn't think Ray Ford had the enough skills in his bag to hang with O'Shaquie Foster, but I don't think O'Shaquie Foster got the enough physical attributes plus skills to hang with Shakur. And that's my take on that. Now, my last take coming up, Jaron Ennis versus Xander Zayas. My take on this, Boots is going to come in, and I think even though Xander is bigger, Xander is a great technical fighter, fires fundamentals. He has a great left hook, great body shot, great body work, great left hooks to the body. Same kind of style that you've seen with Miguel Cotto and other great Puerto Rican fighters in the past. Straight up fundamentals, sturdy, big guy for 154. I still think Boots is going to break him down and beat him up. I think he's going to beat him up. Yes, Boots. We've seen Boots get hit before. Yes, he does get hit in fights. We have seen him take shots, but I mean, hey, I've never seen Boots really get beat up. I mean, I've seen Xander in fights like where he was taking more than a few. He took shots. Like, he a great fighter and everything, but I just think that it's one of those fights where I think Boots is going to beat him up and wear him down over time. And I think that we could see a late stoppage or a lopsided unanimous decision in Boots' favor. I think it'll be competitive for probably the first 5 to 6 rounds. And then after that, I think that it'll be more so lopsided, and I think that you'll see Xander taking a lot more damage and could get stopped because Boots got serious power, and even though he's mild-mannered and he don't promote fights very well, he's vicious when he gets in that ring. When he put that Undertaker music on, man, that shit is for real with Boots. I like it. I like that. I want to hear it every time he come down. I want to hear that before whatever rapper he come rapping him down. I want to hear dong, dong. I want to hear that Undertaker shit. For real. Because that's Boots. He come in Gravedigger style. He come in to beat your ass. Put you down in the dirt. And I like it. I like it. Every time he come down with that Undertaker joint on, I'm like, yeah. Yeah. Because he vicious. When he get in there, he vicious. Now, with Xander, I don't know. I don't know if he going to be able to be as vicious. Because Xander coming with some smoke too. But it's something I want to see. I think that is going to be good for about 5 rounds, and then after that, you're going to see Boots take off and whoop his ass. And then, one more thing, though. You got Abdullah Mason coming up July 4th, too. and I'm gonna try to be at that fight actually too. That's somebody else that I got on my list that I think we'll see him over at Zuffa. Once they get more competition over there, once you start seeing, you're gonna start seeing these young guys getting the bag, getting up, getting the bag, and fighting to be the best. And I think what you're gonna see in the future, down the road, years down the road, because this is not gonna go away quickly. I think you're gonna see this down the road, years down the road. We're gonna see an actual boxing league regulated with a board of regulator people who like a commissioner. You're gonna see a Roger Goodell of boxing, and I hope it's not Dana White. I hope he appoints somebody to be that and not him. Like, you just be the dude that owns the shit in the back behind the scenes. You don't gotta be the face. You can put somebody in there to be the face. Put Turkey in there. Really, Turkey's the banker. He can't. He's the bank. But he could be also somebody that can regulate and be a commit. He can appoint a commissioner, somebody who regulates this, who they go and they look at the tape, they go and they look at the fight. Was that a fair stoppage? Was that judge? Should he be judging fights anymore? You know what I mean? Was he faking that low blow injury? You know, I mean, like, all of those things that we never got to see in the past, that never, anytime something went, oh, he popped dirty. Canelo popped dirty and was still able to fight that fight. What? You popped dirty and you still able to continue to fight? No suspension and the fight not canceled? You, what? That's what I'm saying. That don't make sense. That's the stuff that don't make sense. How can you pop dirty and still be able to continue with the fight? That don't make sense. That's why boxing needs a regular something to come in like this. No, we don't necessarily like it, but it's needed. We would have, yeah. Oh, boxing is, we was happy with what it was. Yeah, we was happy, but this is what's needed now, and that's all I got. This is Boxing and Bullish, man. We came back with a blast. This is Dev the Smoke, and I'm your host for the day. And we gonna do this again. Peace.